All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to unpack one of the most fascinating and, let's be honest, one of the weirdest metaphors in the entire Bible. It's a story all about revelation, transformation, and a very unusual diet.
I'm serious. Just think about that for a second. An angel appears and tells you to eat a book. Not read it, not skim it, but to literally eat it. This is the wild, compelling image that's right at the heart of what we're talking about today. And there it is. This is the verse that kicks this whole thing off. It's a paradox, right? A single instruction that promises two completely opposite experiences. How can something be so wonderfully sweet and then so terribly bitter? Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out. Okay, first things first, this obviously isn't about literal digestion. This act of eating the book symbolizes something much, much deeper. It's about a profound, total acceptance of God's word, about making it a part of your very being. And here's where it gets really interesting. The sources describe this act in a powerful way. It's not just about learning some new information. No, it's compared to a marriage, a divine union, where two become one. So what does that really mean, to be married to the word? Well, think about it. It implies taking on a new identity, a new name. It's about knowing a voice so intimately that you recognize it instantly. It means a total sense of unity, of ownership. And ultimately, it means you start to become more and more like the very thing you've consumed. Okay, so let's talk about the first part of this paradox, the sweetness. Why is the word described as being as sweet as honey when you first take it in? You know, when it's in the mouth, it's pure joy. It's that aha moment of finally understanding something huge. It's the thrill of revelation. It feels like life itself, a truth that you just immediately embrace with faith. It's an incredible, rewarding experience right off the bat. And this isn't a one-off idea, you know? This shows us that the idea of God's word being sweet is a consistent theme. Way back in the book of Psalms, the writer says the exact same thing. Divine truth is always shown as something utterly delightful and desirable. But you knew there was a but coming, right? As we move deeper, the experience takes a sharp turn. That initial sweetness, it doesn't last. Once that word is fully consumed, once it starts to be digested, that's when it becomes bitter. And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If this truth is so good, so life-giving, why on earth does it cause bitterness? Well, the answer is all about what happens when a truth isn't just tasted, but when it's truly, deeply internalized. Let's look at this side by side. In the belly, that sweet revelation turns into a bitter truth. That initial joy is met with conviction. That feeling of life is suddenly challenged by our own human nature, what the Bible calls the flesh. And that faith, now it demands a costly obedience, something that can even lead to suffering. The bitterness comes from the word's incredible power to cut right through us. It's not some comforting pat on the back. It's described here as a surgeon's scalpel, a two-edged sword that pierces through all our defenses and exposes what's really going on inside, judging our deepest thoughts and intentions. And let's be real, that process is almost never comfortable. We actually see this play out in the book of Acts. When the people heard the truth of the gospel, they weren't just curious. The text says they were pricked in their heart. It was a sharp, painful, convicting feeling that absolutely demanded a response. What's so amazing about this is that the Apostle John wasn't the first person to get this bizarre command. This whole metaphor of spiritually digesting God's word, it's actually a theme that pops up again and again. Yep. Centuries before John, the prophet Ezekiel was told to do the exact same thing. Eat a scroll. And guess what? His experience was identical, as sweet as honey in his mouth. And then there's the prophet Jeremiah. He uses the same language, talking about finding God's words and eating them, and how it brought him joy. This pattern shows us something really important. To truly receive God's word isn't just to hear it, it's to consume it, to make it part of you. Now, to really feel the weight of this command, we've got to look at the original language. The Greek word used here isn't just eat, it's kataphage. This is not a polite suggestion to take a little nibble. This is a command to devour it, to consume it completely, to leave nothing behind. And the other words here just add so many layers to this. It's a biblaridion, a little book, which really emphasizes how personal and intimate this revelation is meant to be. You're told to kataphage, to devour it whole. And the result is certain. It will embitter you. Pick Renee.
The original language just paints this incredible picture that is intimate, total, and guaranteed to transform you. So, what's the point of all this? Why go through this whole sweet then bitter roller coaster? It all comes down to one single, powerful purpose: transformation. So here's how it all fits together. It's a process. First, you receive the word, and that's the sweetness. Then you internalize it, and that digestion process, that's the bitterness. This dual experience works together perfectly to nourish your spirit while at the same time challenging and confronting your human nature, your flesh. It's all one thing, one book, one act of consumption that is designed from start to finish to create one profound and lasting change inside of a person. The key takeaway here is that the sweet joy and the bitter conviction aren't enemies. They're two sides of the same transformative coin. They work together to change you from the inside out. And honestly, this isn't just some ancient story, it's a blueprint for growth. Think about it. Any meaningful truth we absorb in our lives often follows this exact pattern, a joyful discovery followed by the hard work of letting it actually change us. And what's the ultimate result? What happens after you endure that bitter digestion? It's not just about you. After the bitterness in the belly, something absolutely incredible is meant to flow out of you, rivers of living water. The difficult internal work produces an external overflow of life that can impact everyone around you. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. When have you encountered a truth that was amazing to discover, but really, really challenging to actually live out? Because it's right there, in that tension between the sweet and the bitter, that real growth happens. Thanks for listening.